Madden Football is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals taking on the NFC champions, the Detroit Lions. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The CD, the Bengals, they're back for the second time in 3 years, looking for that first ever Super Bowl title.
Can you believe they're 0-3 in the big game? 2 losses to the Niners in the 80s, 2 really tough ones, and a loss to the Rams in 2022. Their motivation, sky high. They're ready to bring that first title back to Cincinnati.
Meanwhile, for the Lions, it might be a state holiday in Michigan tomorrow if they can pull this one off. Their first ever Super Bowl appearance as they try to win their first NFL title since 1957.
Oh, I love how you announce. I love how you like to govern as well. A state holiday? Absolutely if they pull this one off. And remember, this team trying to win, as you said, their first title since 1957. If they pull this off, it officially buries the Bobby Lane curse.
The 2023 season has 1 game left. Here we go. Super Bowl 58 underway from Vegas. This fielded right at the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
On one, ready?
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Burrow looking to pass. And that is incomplete. Not the opening possession they were looking for, especially on the road.
No doubt about it, because they wanted to come out and establish a little momentum right away. But now bringing up a 4th down, an empty possession, not what they were seeking.
So on 4th down, on is Brad Robbins to punt for the Bengals. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Returnable here from the 38. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1/4 of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Now a 1st down throw. Goff. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. First carry now for David Montgomery. And a good burst there right from the start as he'll get this one out near the 35. First down Lions on a pickup of 13. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only they're controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. Goff on first down. He's got it to Williams. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
One thing I do know that offensive linemen like, they like a guy who's carrying the ball that will take what is blocked. Not try and create a big play and maybe take a loss, not try and go where the blocking isn't. But if it's just all that's there and you just put your head and your shoulders down and get that, you get the respect of the big guys up front.
Goes out left. It's caught by Williams. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that's going to bring up second down. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
And the Lions are going to have it first and goal as they'll take this down to about the 3. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Defense really sold out there to stop the run. Understandable down near the goal line. Now on second down, you have to wonder, might we see play action here and a flip right over the top?
Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal. Now Goff. This to the corner, right side. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that'll bring up a third down and goal.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats. Throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no yardage.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while, but when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Badgley able to knock this one through, and the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. This taken in right around the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And out now, here come the Bengals. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And Chase going to pick up a Bengals first down as he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Orlando Brown, the former Raven, the guilty party. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Here's Burrow. Out to the left. He's got Sample there. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Now Burrow. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase, 64 yards. And the Bengals are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
On 1st down, Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Goff now looking to throw. That's complete to the Porter. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
On first down, it's gone. It's complete to Williams. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Two yards to go, 2nd down. Toss left to Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati. As he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
He will find his man Chase complete. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. That's complete to the tight end Sample. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. This one hauled in by Sample. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy, let him pick up the first down.
That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 58. Much more to come from Las Vegas after this. It's the Bengals in the lead. The NFL on EA Sports continues right after this message. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And we are back. Biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, and both teams ready for the start of the second quarter. Yeah, he's able to push his way forward somehow for a gain of about 2 yards. Second down now.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want, and other times the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
On second down, here's Mixon. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. And that is incomplete here. Drew Sample, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Burrow will throw. Guy's man complete over the middle. It's Boyd. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Now it's Burrow. That is caught. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 37. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now it's Burrow. Throwing the out route, finding Boyd for the completion. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up second down. Throwing again, it's Burrow. Looking for Chase on the out route. He's got him. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 20-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. From the red zone now, here's Burrow, first down. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with second and a couple. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That play gets them 6 yards and sets them up with a 1st and goal. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
Burrow looking to pass. Touchdown! Joe Burrow with a touchdown connection to Tyler Boyd. And the Bengals continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl.
When you give up a long touchdown drive, you're looking for a silver lining. In this case, it's the fact that your offense had a chance to rest, and now they can come out in the field charged up and ready to go.
McPherson now for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And it's finished off by the touchdown from Tyler Boyd. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there.
They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10.
To throw is Goff.
This one swung out to Montgomery.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for just 3. And that will bring up 2nd down. Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Now a 1st down throw. Gone. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Second and 10.
Here's Goff. And it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Here's Goff.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. He's to the 15.
Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
63 yards.
And the Lions are back within a score.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point.
And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. So that drives 6 plays, 75 yards.
And it was Jamison Williams wrapping things up with a touchdown.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10
at the 20. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's incomplete.
Drew Sample, the intended receiver.
And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Mixing up the middle. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On third down, Burrow. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And this defense definitely in his head there on third down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
On now to punt, Brad Robbins. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fielded at about the 28. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. So here come the Lions now. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. The end result, 21 yards.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a first down.
On 1st and 10, Goff. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Goff. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
This is caught inside the 15. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They'll run with Montgomery. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? They try again with Montgomery. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Lions have retaken the lead. So, Charles, they had him double covered in the end zone. It still was not enough.
I wonder if they're thinking to themselves now, 2 didn't work. Do we go for 3 guys on him next time? Because he fought through all that extra attention, got himself into a great position where his quarterback felt confident enough to challenge the coverage and threw it his way. What a big-time play right there, both by the quarterback trusting him and by him going up and getting it.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Got a man open. It's Chase. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
And that's a good start right there. This game's changed pretty dramatically in the last few minutes. So now these guys are forced to play from behind here. And that's a positive first step towards claiming this lead right back.
Mixon with a first down carry. And coughed it up. And it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Do you remember in preseason when we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. Detroit's offense ready to take over. But what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover. I feel like I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him. That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Now it's Goff. This is Montgomery with a grab over the middle. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Big plays are starting to become the trend here in this first half, and everything that they've tried has worked. And there's another example right there.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They'll try to run wide side with Montgomery. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8.
After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. 2 minutes on the clock in the 2nd quarter of this Super Bowl. Now they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Here's Goff. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
Here's Michael Badgley ready for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Badgley able to punch this one through. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So able to add on to their first half lead here, Charles, forcing the miscue with a fumble and then turning that into 3 points.
Yeah, and more than happy to accept any mistakes the other side is willing to make. No problem. You turn it over, we'll take that, and we'll use it to expand our lead.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Ready to go on offense. Out come the Bengals. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that'll give them a short yardage situation here for second down. And Burrow's saying, let's go, let's go. Looking to throw again on second down. Burrow, and he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And they call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. Now the Bengals urging everybody to get back to the line of scrimmage. On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Let's go. It's showtime, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? From the shotgun, it's Burrow. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. So touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but looking like that won't be the case here.
Yeah, it looks like someone put their dukes up a little bit, doesn't it? Maybe decided to finally make a stand because those first 2 drives, they got run over. Now, finally, got their feet under them, got a little bit of balance. They're getting off the field.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation, either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. Goff. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts, and he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now a 3rd and 6. One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. So possession goes over here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl, as we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. In the first half, it was the veteran quarterback Jared Goff who had command of the offense. He came on after a slow start to fire 2 second-quarter touchdown passes and give his guys the lead at the intermission.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And I think you'd have to say their coaching staff, all things considered, had to be pleased with their performance in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Definitely pleased, doing their best not to show it to their team, of course, because as you and I both know, their mantra all season long has been finish. Get the job done. They know how close they are to lifting that trophy. One more solid half of football, and they can do exactly that.
The second half starts with a run by Gibbs. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They'll go again with Gibbs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Goff on 3rd down. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
As you know, so many things in the passing game are based on yardage. Sometimes it's just based on timing, and that's what we saw right there on that play. 3rd and 3, just get the ball right to the receiver.
Is the hitch route. Tell us, what is the hitch route?
Yeah, just take really one step, like you're driving off the line of scrimmage, get the defensive back on his heels, get the ball out to the receiver, and he does the rest.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first. Back to throw, Goff. This to Laporta, right side. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Goff now looks to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down. Running left, Montgomery. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
Down to the 25. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first.
Get it out right now.
Now 3rd down and 7.
A shotgun snap for Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And the Lions will extend their 3rd quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. Goff looking to throw. And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Throw right side into the hands of the tight end Sample. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. They set the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Burrow looking to pass. A quick throw there is incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Throwing again, it's Burrow. And a loose football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And got his man complete. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown.
Jamar Chase.
His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl.
And the Bengals have got it back to within a score.
Charles, there aren't really any slow receivers, but there's fast and then really fast. He's really fast, and he showed off the afterburners there.
And that he is, because when he took off, I was thinking there's no chance that he can actually reach him with that pass. Yet he did, and he's still sprinting. And just think about what that does for everyone else on his team, because his ability to stretch a field opens things up for the rest of the receivers on the team.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this is back to a 5-point game.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. Time for another look at this Lions offense. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line.
He'll begin by dropping it off to Montgomery.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Well, partner, I haven't seen a vote for most popular player on the team. This guy's got to get a lot of votes. He does not care, does he? Totally unselfish, physical runner, doesn't worry about yardage, just keeps moving the chains, being a team player.
On 1st down, Goff. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. And give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be third and about the length of the football. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Lions first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hook up again on 3rd down to keep this drive alive.
Goff on first down.
He's got it complete to Gibbs.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Play action. It's Goff.
That's complete to the Porter.
And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. To the air again. Goff. Throw here is incomplete.
Let's phrase this delicately, okay? Might have had a better option instead of throwing the football into double coverage.
He was blanketed. I was surprised that he went his direction.
Yeah, should have thought maybe about the check down. Take the completion, keep moving.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
Coming right, this is Montgomery on the toss. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
77 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, he's eaten up a good chunk of the third quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Goff. His throw incomplete.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? From the gun, here's Goff. And this is going to be incomplete.
And how about the coverage here in the end zone? That's how you frustrate a quarterback. You get pressure on, and you take away all of his receivers, and he's got to throw it away on 3rd and goal.
Here's Michael Badgley ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Badgley's kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this third quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Jamar Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field.
And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10.
At their own 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This one hauled in by Sample. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Play action. It's Burrow. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the 1st down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking 1st down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a 1st down.
Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. On 1st down, it's gone. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Here's 2nd and 10.
To throw is gone. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the 1st guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And there's just 1 quarter that remains in this edition of the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Throwing on 3rd, Goff.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And his bid for the 1st down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Burrow giving it to Mixon on the option. And he's got a Bengals first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
I don't care what anyone says. I want a big-time backing in this kind of yardage each and every time I step on the field. A tone setter, those guys are hard to find.
First down, here's Burrow.
Well, that one fell incomplete after being tipped in the air, but I have to tell you, I had a bad flashback of going to head to the stadium stairs in practice, because what we were always taught, any ball like that, if it's not spiked towards the ground and you actually tip it up, then that's an error on your part, because now you've given hope to the offense, maybe help create a big play for them, instead of going up and either intercepting it or knocking it down. I learned many a stadium step from my errors.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 10. Burrow will throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 43. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a 4th down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. From the 35, here's 2nd and 3. And Burrow going to throw again. Another one into the hands of Jamar Chase. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 23. His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. They go play action with Burrow. He finds his man, complete. That's Hudson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Burrow now off the bootleg.
Get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
Charles Harris showing his strength and quickness there, a loss of 4. But trying to get the defense to flow the other direction on the bootleg, but Charles, they were not fooled whatsoever.
I like your description there, because on that flow, all you're trying to do is get them to take one step or two to the opposite side, and then you gain the advantage. But a really nice job by the defense. They didn't get caught up in it at all, able to bring him down.
48 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot.
Touchdown, Bengals! Jamar Chase with his 3rd touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Bengals have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So part 1 of what they needed is done. They get in the end zone. Now you have to imagine we'll see a try for 2.
And that's what the book says, but defensively, they can't hang their head right here. They've still got a chance to come out with the lead if they make a play.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. They're going to try and run for him, but he is not going to make it. It's a big play by the defense, and they're going to hold on to their 2-point lead. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And they've seen their lead nearly extinguished after that last score, but bottom line, they are still on top with the football, and a touchdown on this drive would really put them in position A. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And his throw is incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Goff now looks to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. There for the sack, B.J. Hill. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
So now following the sack, Goff and the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return is Jones.
A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt.
And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense.
Previous series, definitely a focal point. 3 catches, the touchdown grab. As a DB, or former DB, is there a number of catches on a drive you're like, oh, he got the best of us?
I'm not sure there's a number, but there's a great feel. And what he did on the last drive, yeah.
Especially with a touchdown.
Yes.
You're never happy.
You're exactly right. The way he capped it off. So you feel that at the sideline, and now you're looking at your buddies and saying, okay, what are we going to do to take things away from him? Because I'm not sure the other guys can make those sort of plays. So let's make sure that we don't let him get going again.
Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 8. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. third down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On third down, Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
So a pressure spot here for Evan McPherson.
This for a fourth-quarter lead.
McPherson's kick is good.
And they have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. And Detroit back in possession of the football. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 25-yard line. And they'll send the tight end in motion here to Montgomery to begin the drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want, but on the defensive side of the ball, you're scrambling a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Goff.
Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Here's Goff now on second down.
Short pass here taken in by Laporta.
That'll put him at 96 yards receiving now for the game, and he's got a first down as well. Now Goff. That'll be caught by St. Brown. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down. Montgomery back to the ground. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
What can they draw up now? Time to find out on a 3rd and 8.
Now gone.
He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. Badger able to knock this one through, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. This is 1st and 10. Now Burrow.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
To throw, Burrow. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Here now, 3rd down. Burrow.
And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. And Detroit getting set to go now. And this game not quite over yet, and we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Going up the gut, Montgomery. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Goff now to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this won't be enough. Stop the yard short after a gain of 3. Fourth down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a fourth down?
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. Montgomery, they'll run for it. And not only will he not get in, he's going to lose yardage. They stuff him back at the 4. So Montgomery denied on 4th and goal. And the Bengals are going to get the football back.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
A final shot now for Burrow. They still can't get it. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. And the Lions, yes, the Detroit Lions have won the Super Bowl. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.